Hello, everyone, and welcome to Speak and Explore English. I'm Martha.
And I'm Josh. Welcome to all our listeners around the world who are learning English.
This podcast helps you practice English listening skills with clear pronunciation and everyday vocabulary. Today, we're talking about dream holiday destinations, but we're going deeper than usual.
That's right. We're not just talking about where we want to go, but also how to plan these trips, how to prepare culturally, and practical travel advice.
Perfect for English learners who might be planning their own international trip someday. Josh, you're dreaming about Europe for the food culture.
Exactly. My 3 dream destinations are Italy, France, and Spain. But Martha, let me start with some specific planning details for Italy.
Oh, specific planning. That's so helpful for our listeners.
For Italy, I would want to spend at least 2 weeks. I'd start in Rome to see the Colosseum and Vatican, but my real focus would be the food neighborhoods. There's a district called Trastevere that's famous for authentic family restaurants.
Trastevere. That's a specific neighborhood name.
Yes, and then I'd take the train to Bologna, which is considered the food capital of Italy. They invented bolognese sauce there. I'd book a cooking class to learn how to make fresh pasta by hand.
A cooking class. What a great way to learn about culture.
Exactly. And for cultural preparation, I've been learning basic Italian phrases. Simple things like dove posso trovare un buon ristorante, which means where can I find a good restaurant?
Oh, you're learning Italian. That's smart preparation.
I'm also reading about Italian dining customs. For example, Italians typically eat dinner very late, around 8 or 9 p.m., and they never drink cappuccino after lunch. It's considered strange.
Really? No cappuccino after lunch? These cultural details are so important.
Exactly. For France, my planning would be different. I'd spend 1 week in Paris visiting famous markets like Marché des Enfants Rouges, which is the oldest covered market in Paris.
The oldest covered market. That sounds historic.
And then I'd take the train to Lyon, which many people say has the best food in France. Lyon has these special restaurants called bouchons, where they serve traditional Lyonnaise cuisine.
Bouchon. That's a specific type of restaurant?
Yes, and for cultural preparation for France, I'm learning about French dining etiquette. French people eat very slowly and enjoy long conversations during meals. Rushing through dinner is considered rude.
Long conversations during meals? That's so different from fast food culture.
Right, and in Spain, I want to experience the tapas culture properly. In Spanish cities like Seville and Granada, there are specific neighborhoods where locals go for tapas crawls.
Tapas crawls? You mean going from bar to bar?
Exactly. You visit multiple small bars, have 1 or 2 tapas and a drink at each place, then move to the next. It's very social. I'd need to learn Spanish phrases like ¿Qué tapas recomiendan?, which means what tapas do you recommend?
You're really doing your homework with these languages. Now, let me tell you about my Asian plans. For India, I would need much more cultural preparation because it's so different from Western culture.
That's a good point. What kind of preparation are you thinking about?
First, I'd want to learn about Indian customs and etiquette. For example, in Hindu temples, you must remove your shoes and cover your shoulders and legs. I'd need to pack appropriate clothing.
Right, appropriate clothing for religious sites.
And I'd learn basic Hindi phrases like namaste for hello and dhanyavad for thank you. Also, pani means water, which is very important to know.
Yes, knowing how to ask for water is essential when traveling.
For my India itinerary, I'd start with the famous Golden Triangle tour, Delhi, Agra, where the Taj Mahal is, and Jaipur. That takes about 1 week. Then I'd go south to Kerala for the backwaters and spice plantations.
The Golden Triangle? That's a specific travel route that many tourists follow.
Yes, it's called the Golden Triangle because these three cities form a triangle on the map. And for food preparation, I'd need to build up my tolerance for spicy food gradually before traveling.
Build up your spice tolerance. That's practical advice.
For Thailand, the planning would be very different. I'd want to split my time between cultural sites and beach relaxation. I'd start in Bangkok for the temples and street food, then go north to Chiang Mai for authentic Thai cooking classes.
Chiang Mai for cooking classes. You're both interested in food learning.
Exactly! And then I'd fly south to the islands like Phuket or Koh Samui for snorkeling and beach time. The key cultural preparation for Thailand is learning about Buddhist customs and the concept of saving face.
That's really important cultural knowledge. Now, let's talk about practical travel planning advice for our listeners. What about budgeting for these dream trips?
Great question. For my Asian trips, I'd budget differently for each country. India is very affordable. You can eat well for under $5 per day. But Thailand beach resorts can be more expensive.
Right, and Europe is generally more expensive. In France and Italy, a good restaurant meal might cost $30 to $50 per person. But you can save money by eating lunch at local cafes instead of tourist restaurants.
Local cafes versus tourist restaurants? That's a great money-saving tip.
And here's practical advice for our listeners. Start saving early and create a separate travel fund. Even saving $25 per month adds up to $300 per year for travel.
$25 per month, that's very manageable for most people. What about travel documents and health preparation?
For Europe, Americans need a passport but no visa for short trips. For India and Thailand, you need both a passport and tourist visa. You should apply for visas at least 1 month before traveling.
1 month in advance. Good timing advice. And for health, I'd need vaccinations for India, hepatitis A and B, typhoid, and maybe Japanese encephalitis.
Health preparation is so important, and travel insurance, that's essential for international trips, especially to places where medical care might be expensive.
Travel insurance? Absolutely. What about communication? How would we handle language barriers and staying connected?
Good question. I'd download translation apps like Google Translate, which works offline, and I'd get an international phone plan or buy a local SIM card for internet access.
Translation apps and local SIM cards. Those are practical, modern solutions. Also, I'd learn to use transportation apps. In Thailand, there's an app called Grab for taxis, similar to Uber.
Right, and in Europe, each country has good train systems. I'd buy a Eurail pass for multiple countries, which saves money and makes travel convenient.
Let's talk about packing smart. For India, I'd pack lightweight, loose-fitting clothes because of the heat, but also long sleeves for temples and to protect from sun.
Smart packing for climate and culture. For Europe, I'd bring comfortable walking shoes because European cities involved lots of walking on cobblestone streets.
Cobblestone streets, good point. And here's something our listeners should know. Always pack important documents and medications in your carry-on bag, never in checked luggage.
Excellent advice. And make copies of your passport and keep them separate from the original. If you lose your passport, the copies help you get a replacement faster.
Such practical tips. Now, what about cultural preparation beyond just language? How do we avoid making cultural mistakes?
Great question. I'd research dining customs carefully. In Italy, never order cappuccino with dinner. In France, Always say bonjour when entering shops. In Spain, don't eat dinner before 9 p.m. or you'll look like a tourist.
Such specific details. For India, I'd learn about tipping customs. It's expected, but the amounts are different from America. And in Thailand, never point your feet toward Buddhist statues or people. It's considered very rude.
These cultural details make such a difference in how locals perceive you. Martha, what's your best advice for our listeners who want to start planning their own dream trips?
I'd say start with research and small steps. Choose one destination. Read travel blogs from that country, watch YouTube videos about the culture, and start learning basic phrases in the local language.
Perfect advice. And don't try to see everything in one trip. It's better to spend more time in fewer places and really experience the culture than to rush through many cities.
Quality over quantity. Excellent travel philosophy. And remember, even if you make cultural mistakes, most people appreciate when foreigners make an effort to learn about their culture.
So true. People are generally very helpful and patient when they see you're trying to respect their customs. Well, Martha, this has been our most detailed travel discussion yet.
I hope our listeners found all these practical tips and cultural insights helpful for planning their own dream trips. Let's quickly review some key vocabulary we used today.
We talked about itinerary, cultural preparation, etiquette, budgeting, travel documents, vaccinations, translation apps, and local customs. These are all essential words for international travel planning.
Perfect vocabulary review. Now, before we finish, we want to thank all our wonderful listeners for joining us on Speak and Explore English today.
If you found today's detailed travel planning discussion helpful, please like and subscribe to our podcast. It really helps us reach more English learners who want practical, real-world content.
Until next time, keep practicing your English, start researching your dream destinations, and remember that good preparation makes great travel experiences.
Safe travels, everyone, whether they're real or still in the planning stage.
Goodbye!